Hello everybody and welcome to my channel again. Today I have a text in my site about 3000ers in the Dolomites. So I have created an interactive map with the positions of all the peaks over 3000 meters, and you will see how it works. But before I show you the map, just to say a few words about the actual number of the 3000 meters high peaks in the Dolomites. If you go to different sources, you will see different numbers. For example, in Wikipedia, there are 21 of them listed, but in some other sources you can see more than 40. So it all depends on how a peak is actually defined. Namely, there is a term that is topographic prominence of a peak. So this is the elevation difference from the highest area around the peak and the peak itself. Sometimes peaks can be a part of a single range of a ridge of peaks, and then you can have many of them. Sometimes even you can climb from one to another, but the prominence between them is actually not so big, and this is why in some maps you will see only one peak shown, like in the case of Pale di San Martino, and indeed in Wikipedia you will have only one peak from that group, although if you really examine the mountains you will see at least 8 different peaks over 3000 meters. Yet another example are those Tofane group above Cortina d'Ampezzo. So here is in the post I have actually the top picture which shows two of them. So you have Tofana di Dentro and Tofana di Mezzo. There is also Tofana di Roses, which I climbed, and it is indeed separated from these two. There is a pass between them with a mountain hut. So indeed, Tofana de Roses is completely separated. But these two that you see here in the picture, uh, the prominence between them is really not so big. And more importantly, actually, you can climb both of them in a single day. When you are on one, you can then continue and climb the other one. There is also a lift that goes directly to the summit of Tofana di Mezzo, for example. So you can climb Tofana di Dentro from the valley or from the last station of yet another lift that you have there, and then go to the summit, and then from the summit of this peak you can go to Tofana di Mezzo and then descend by using lift, for example. Or you can stay. There is a bivouac built in the area where used to be some barracks from the First World War. So you can stay the night there and then go to the summit of Tofana di Dentro and then continue to Tofana di Mezzo and then descend by walking or using a lift. So let me show you the map. This is what I created. The map is completely zoomable, so you see I can zoom in, and then this is, for example, Antelau, and you will see then the numbers with some sometimes the routes marked on the map itself, but it is also, and by the way, you see that it shows coordinates, but when you click on the marker that you have here in the map, it will take you to Google Map, and then you will have far more information in the Google Map, including some pictures and also huts around and so on. So there are, as I said, there are 24 of them in the Dolomites. I can tell you I have climbed a number of them. So if you have any question about any of the peaks or about the area, do let me know in the comment below the video, or you can follow the link to this post and then ask questions in the comment section under the post. I have been there many times in the past, and I also plan to go there next summer. So I will be there in 2 months to do some climbs and also to test some equipment. Now about difficulty of these peaks, you have a variety, depends on what you want to do. You have pure climbing, of course, routes there if you are an alpinist, or you have normal routes where you can get to the summit without any special equipment. Typical example is Tofana the Rosas, which I mentioned, but this is not the only one. There are other peaks like La Varela, which I also climbed. Then you can go to Peace Boy, and then also so there are quite a number of them. But actually, for practically all of them, you also have ferrata, separate ferrata tours where you can enjoy mountains, these peaks in that particular way. So it depends on the peak and on the route which you choose. The only real normal route over a glacier is the one that goes to Marmolada. I climbed Marmolada many years ago, and I did it solo by following the normal route over the glacier. And in this case, I want to actually have a link here in the text. Maybe I can show you. Did I put it somewhere? Marmolada, yes. So this is the peak is described in my separate post here in the site, and you can have all information that you need about this particular peak. Just remember that apart from the glacier that you have on the way up, there is also one ferrata section to the summit. So apart from the separate ferrata, very famous ferrata route that goes around the mountain practically without getting to the glacier. So Marmolada is the highest peak there, the only peak with a glacier route, glacier normal route. Actually, Marmolada Glacier is practically the only one in the Dolomites. There is yet another small glacier, I think, on the northeast side of Monte Cristallo, but I haven't been there, so I cannot say more. Now about when to climb. As I said, I have been in the Dolomites in normal summer months and in quite different months actually. Sometimes in July, sometimes in September. And I can tell you the following. If you plan to do any ferrata routes, then it is best to go later in the season than sooner in the season. The reason is very simple. Quite frequently, these attractive ferrata routes go through narrow gullies, and you can have a lot of snow and ice late in the season, even in the first half of July. So if it happens that cables are in ice or in snow, you cannot attach yourself, and then this can ruin all your plans, and you can even get into danger. So for ferrata tours, it is better to go late August or August in general, beginning of September. For most of normal routes, you can go, let's say, July and August and all September. I have been also there last time. It was in July last year, and the weather was totally unpredictable. So I wanted to go to Fanes National Park, and I did a 2-day tour. I was carrying tent and equipment to sleep outdoors, so I slept in the at a high elevation, and continued in the next morning. And I wanted to get to this summit, Cima 10 or Zeinderspitze, and I couldn't continue. I was on this summit here, which is slightly below 3,000 meters, and I wanted to get to Cima 10, which is 3,000, but the storm started when I was here at this point. I needed, I think, less than 1 hour to the summit, but I had to give up. So just to know, the weather can be really unpredictable, and you have to be ready for this. In principle, in this and in many other parts of the Alps, Italian Alps, Slovenian Alps, it is always better to go as early in the morning as possible, because the weather changes, and usually this happens in the afternoon. About equipment, this will depend on the type of the tour. I already said a few words about this. So for most normal mountaineering or hiking routes, if you want to call them like that, that way, you will need only a pair of good hiking boots. What kind of boots? I have them here, many described in my site. So if you are familiar with them, for example, you can use practically any good hiking boots with decent ankle support. I know that there are people who claim that you don't need boots. You can go in shoes. It's a matter of choice, of course. As for the ferrata routes, of course, you will have standard set like climbing helmet, harness, and then Y rope or Y lanyard, which you use to attach yourself to cables. The only place where you, in summer, where you need crampons is Marmalada, Punta Peña, if you go normal route over the glacier. Regarding maps, I suggest here in the text tobacco map. Actually, I have it here just to show you that I use it myself. So this is it, and this is what I suggest. So this is tobacco number 3 map, Cortina d'Ampezzo e Dolomiti Ampezzane. You can find it on Amazon. Otherwise, if you use gadgets, you can use maps that are available on all trails. Regarding accommodation, Dolomites are full of national parks, so in principle, wild camping is forbidden. But my impression is it is tolerated, or I could put this the following way: if you go high in the mountains and put your tent after, let's say, 6-7 in the afternoon, and then you continue early in the morning next day, I don't think that anybody will really make a problem about this. Definitely there is nobody to check. I have never seen anybody going around checking, and I have seen quite a number of tents. So people were sleeping there practically at many places, and very frequently you will see this along Alta Via 1 and Alta Via 2 routes, where I have been, at least in some sections of these routes. There are also regular camping places in the valleys around. I have been in several of them. If you are in Cortina d'Ampezzo, there are 2 of them very close to the city. The lower one below the city has good internet connection. The upper one, I forgot the name, was when I asked about internet connection, they told me it was sporadic, practically they couldn't guarantee, and that's why I didn't want to stay there. There are also places where you can indeed sleep on mountain passes, and the best possible example is Fedaya Pass. This is the picture from last year, so I took it when I was moving from one part of the Alps to the Dolomites, and I was passing here. And this is the picture that I took. So it was in the evening, and as you see, the area was full of motorhomes and cars, and I was sleeping there as well. And I want to stress that I was sleeping there maybe 15 years ago when I climbed Marmolada from this exact place. I was sleeping there in the car, and now after so many years, I was there in the same place, and I realized that nothing has changed. So this particular spot is you get there from if you follow here is the main road, and then from there you go over the dam that you have here. So it is allowed to go there by car, and then you and also by motorhome, and so you can come here and sleep. Nobody will really make any problem about this. There is a restaurant here, well actually there are probably more, 2, 3, and you can have a meal as well. There is yet another place here at Fedaya Pass on the other side of the lake. I was there as well, smaller but still something similar. You can just go there and park and stay overnight. After that I was at Jiao Pass and realized that all the area on the pass itself is actually prohibited. It belongs to the hotel that is the pass, so you cannot sleep on the beautiful parking that you have there, but you can stop anywhere on the road, by the road, and stay the night. I don't remember any other really good place where you could sleep in the car and with the motorhome. There is yet another above Cortina where you have that short turn. I forgot the name, St. Luke or something like this. I forgot really. I stayed there for one night. There is official parking, but when you enter it, you have to pay, I think, €5 per night per day. But if you stay outside, you can sleep in the car. Of course, you have, if you want proper accommodation, then you can use Booking.com. This is how I rented apartments there quite a number of times. Last time I did the accommodation through Booking when I stayed in Araba, which is below Paso Pordoi, and then I climbed several peaks around. I stayed there for 1 week. So I think this is all I wanted to say about this. Again, to show you again my map, it's interactive, and you can have a lot of detail here. If you just zoom in and zoom out, you will see access roads, and then when you zoom in, you will have all data about roads and such stuff. So thank you for watching. Please follow the link below the video. You can come here to my site and then read this in detail. Subscribe to my channel, and also give me a like if you find this presentation and my post useful. Thank you for watching.